Right, everybody, welcome in. House of Dragon reaction, review, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a whole bunch of everything in this episode. Man, welcome in NYMD Podcast, Kevin Hurt, Brian Sherrard, Twitter, Facebook, IG, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, StreamYard, YouTube. Listen, I think I was okay with the episode until I wasn't okay with the episode. Let's just give me your reaction, how you felt about how you felt about this this episode where the guy everybody loves to hate, you love to hate. I mean, we only talk about one person, that's Damon. So
all right, so
oh man,
this was my least favorite episode. Only like I don't even know where to start.
Yes.
It was just weird. I don't know how else to put it.
It was Targaryen weird.
Yeah, like I feel like they was like, you know what? We need to bring Game of the Thrones to House of the Dragon, and that's what they did. That's what they did on this episode.
Oh man. No, that's totally not. They didn't do that this episode at all. But go ahead.
They didn't.
No, Game of Thrones don't go that direction.
What are you talking about?
Game of Thrones. Oh, you said Game of Thrones.
I'm saying they brought Game of Thrones to this episode.
Oh yeah, because it is Game of Thrones. No, I got you. No, for some reason I have Rings of Power in my brain.
Oh, okay.
Many shows. I'm like, oh, they did? What you talking about?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I felt like this could have been an episode of Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it was. I still got, Madison. Why not where you think in my head? So,
okay.
Yeah, I watched that again last night. I was still dying laughing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, you needed to watch them a little light after this one, man. But that's all right. Well, let's talk about the beginning, because let's talk about some good stuff. Because it was, okay. All the weird stuff aside, it was fine, but we'll get to that. But anyway, I thought the episode started off great. Here we have, Daemon returning home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is episode King of the Narrow Sea.
King of the Narrow Sea, right. So Daemon returns home, the mighty warrior. I like how he just takes the sword. He's like, add these to the others, and just throws it.
Yeah, add this to the chair.
Yeah. I was like, that's nice. And his brother, embraces him and everything.
Yeah, he said he swears allegiance to him. He's like, I'm not the king, you're the king. And you're like, oh, look at him. Okay. I was like, oh, they're brothers again.
Yeah.
Until they're not. But
no. But then we move on. We see Rhaenyra. She has a whole line of suitors. Coming to see her. They're still trying to match her up. By
the way, we jumped up again at the timeline. So how far did this one go up again?
We did.
Yeah,
we didn't jump that far up because Daemon just came home from beating Crab Feeder. So
he did, but I think it was just like a couple months.
Oh,
it wasn't like yeah, I think it was just months, not like days or something.
Okay, but it wasn't like years or anything like they've been doing. Right. Okay. But no, man, and it's funny because these last two episodes they've added like a touch of humor. But when the 12-year-old boy from what was it, House of Blackwell or something? I forgot what house he was from. They were
kid. First of all,
12 years old.
12.
Rhaenyra's like, come on, what are y'all doing? Like, what are we doing here? She's like, nah. But they were joking him pretty much, like, man.
They were clowning that dude.
Yeah, they were clowning big time. My man pulled out his sword.
Well, no, because he called him that last name, and he's like, nah, I ain't handling that.
Right.
And they're like, oh. And then, the guy who was with Rhaenyra was just like, guys, just put your swords away. And they still going at it. Rhaenyra was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with this. I'm going back home. Like, we through. Like,
right.
No more suitors.
And it was funny. And it was funny because as they were walking away, you could kind of see him fighting in the background.
Yeah, like, ting. And you see the boy fall down to the ground.
Right. So you think, oh man,
it's a grown man against a 12-year-old.
Right. So you're thinking, dang, man, this little kid's about to get his, you know,
head chopped off.
Right. They turn, yo.
Not even turn, they heard the sound. That's what you heard. You're like, what?
Oh.
Dude got the 12-year-old sword through the dude's gut, yo. It just falls over. Oh, he's like, almost like he's taunting him, like, yeah. Like if this was he would have got a technical. This is like the NBA because he taunted over dude.
Right.
I guess the dude dad comes over to him, was like, son, blah, splits blood everywhere. I mean, and the 12-year-old's over there, like basically just dancing.
Yeah,
dancing. So yeah, that was hilarious. I just not to say the death scene is hilarious. That dude deserved it.
No, but weren't you like, yeah?
Yeah, I was just like, good. That's why you run your mouth, punk.
Right. So the episode
got son.
Right. So the episode starts off good. Then we have a scene with Rhaenyra and Alicent, and it looks like they're kind of reconciling.
But remember, she was supposed to be gone for a month. Like he sent her away to I forgot where she was to meet all these suitors, and she was supposed to be gone for a minute. And that's why she went on the boat on the way back. It was like, so you think he's gonna be surprised? Like, what, that you didn't find a suitor, or the fact that you're returning like 8 months earlier than you're supposed to be? You know what I mean? So yeah, that was that. But then she came back. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, and she's just talking a little bit, pretty much just kind of opened it up to her a little bit, and basically she's just there to have kids, pretty much.
Yeah, which she is, unfortunately for her.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, okay, they're talking, they're on talking terms. Looks like they, I think they do a embrace and everything, with hold hands or something like that, or something.
And then homies, the King's with his brother, and they're sitting there joking, laughing, chilling at the feast. And I'm like,
right, he's drunk again.
Well, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, maybe he might be okay this time. He might be coming back to the fold.
Right.
Until he wasn't.
So this is when the episode takes a drastic turn, dude.
You want to talk about this? Wasn't even like a U-turn. This is like one of those. This is like when you hit ice. This is, you know what I mean? Like, This is when you hit ice. And this, also in this episode, no, that was later on. But yeah, it just went from going like nice cruising, like 75 down a highway, to hitting a patch or something and spinning.
Yeah. And so basically, Daemon gives leaves a message for Rhaenyra. She's going to meet up with him. He takes her, was it Flea Bottom, I think?
Yeah, they were in King's Landing.
Okay.
Yeah, so which is different than the King's Landing I remember. So okay, but this is a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but yeah, out
so they're among the people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's dressed as a boy.
Right.
And he's just got a hood on his head.
Right.
And they're out just seeing all the plays and the people, just the norm, what happens to the people who are the subjects.
Yep.
And just banting about, so to speak.
Yep. And they see the one play where they're mocking Rhaenyra and her as
and the king, everybody.
Yeah. And pretty much, she's seeing what the people kind of think about her, when she rules, are they going to really accept her as queen? Are they going to see her as a strong leader? So she kind of got a glimpse of, people ain't feeling this idea, But, then it goes a little bit further. Okay, then they decide to go to the pleasure house, and hijinks ensue.
Hijinks. That's the best way to describe. Basically, homie wanted to try to seduce his niece. That's basically what it was. I'll just say it like it is. And it was very close to happening until it didn't happen. That's basically just put it like that.
Yeah. I don't think he was expecting her to be in that much into it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting that either. And I was like, I'm watching him like, Rhaenyra, no.
But she's wild.
Yeah.
Like wild isn't like she's strong. She's strong-minded.
Right.
That's who she is. She's always been that way. So, so she has her own thing, and he, like you said, he wasn't as much as he's always in control. He always wants to be in control, and that's his game plan.
Right.
I could do this to upset or do whatever, and like you said, it backfired. Where he was just like, I'm out of here. He rolled out. Even though I feel like there's a part of him was like, this is wrong, but part of him was like, this is part of my game plan.
Yeah.
But he didn't expect the game plan to go that way at all.
Yeah.
So he rolls out on her. She rolls out finally, passes somebody who kind of seems to know who she is. So she gets back home. She's a little bit wound up, so to speak.
Oh yeah.
And Sir Kristen is chilling outside, and Sir Kristen, the bodyguard, whatever. Well, I guess it was just like the bodyguard, Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner. Because hijinks ensued, and this was real hijinks, not the fake hijinks that happened before. And little Marvin Gaye, let's get it on happened, and there you go. So her and the bodyguard got going on. So then, the little spy, the white worm or whatever you want to call it, shows up, tells Hightower, hey, the girl was out gallivanting with her uncle, and some frolicking may have occurred. And he's sitting there like, man, what should I do? Should I tell him? Because he knows he's going to be upset, but he also knows it puts him in a precarious position.
Yeah. But it's like he sees it as an opportunity, but he
knows it could turn out any other way because he's going to be heated.
Right.
So of course he goes and tells the king, who obviously is like, who told you this? And what lies and so on and so forth. And he's heated, but the queen overhears as well. So after he leaves, the queen goes and finds Rhaenyra and is like, yo, what did you, basically, and I'm going to use our term, yo, what did you do, yo? Because I'm hearing up there, you talking about, did you bang your uncle, yo, for real? And it was like, no, which she didn't, but left out some of the details.
Yeah, right.
And the gist of it, nothing kind of really sort of didn't happen, luckily. But it's the perception, people hearing about it.
Right.
So, homie's upset. So the brother, who I don't know what he had to drink. That dude had a hangover. That dude had a hangover worse than a hangover.
Right.
And he got called to, see the king, and the king's like, what did you do? Basically, he lied. He's like, well, I mean, it's me. It's better me than some stranger. And and that's the angriest I've ever seen, the king.
Yeah.
He put his knife to him, was like, I just never want to see you again, get out. And of course, Damon's like, why don't you, let's keep the bloodline going. Why don't you just, have her marry me? It's like, yep, that ain't happening. Get out. No one ever wants.
Right.
It's like, I never want you back here again. And so eventually, he has a call Rhaenyra in there, and they have a coming of age story. But he also, before they get into the conversation, has the knife in the fire, tells her the history of the knife, and says, "Can you read it? What does it say?" And it says that the prince that is promised. It'll be the Song of Fire and Ice. And he's like, that knowledge is bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he shared something with her before. It's like, so what is going on here? And it's like, da-da-da-da-da-da. So he's like, all right, you know what? This is going to end. You get married.
Right. He orders her.
He's like, you ain't going to fight back.
Right.
And the big thing is, you ain't going to marry your uncle. You're going to marry your cousin. Oh, okay, that's better.
Right. It's so funny. Not funny, but it's just like, it's so different because last episode, he was like, you know what? You choose who you want to marry just like I did. This one's like, no. Look, you get married. Like.
And you ain't fighting. That ain't going to fight.
Right. You're going to marry your cousin. All right. And you going to marry your cousin.
The houses together.
Right.
And we'll be powerful, and that's that. So she's like, all right, I'll do that. But, why was your homie spying on me in the first place?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah. I was like, you got to think there's a reason why he has people spy on me wherever I go.
Yep.
And that's for his own game. You got to think about it.
Yep.
So it kind of left him like, let me think about it. So he calls, as I call him now, Low Tower. In there and was just like, yo, I've seen you manipulating these things from the beginning. First it was Allison, which we all know was true.
Right. Heck yeah.
And wanted to have your seed, your bloodline on the crown so bad that you want to ruin my relationship with my daughter. He's like, and that dude, the thing is, I've never seen that dude break character. Like, meaning, I've never seen him smile, never seen him laugh, never seen, that dude, if it isn't harm way, he has the same expression 24/7.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, he's never changed. He was just like, sometimes it's, I didn't want to tell you, but, it's my job, Your Majesty, to tell you, some of the hard truths and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, you know what? It's been good, Rod. Took the hand thing off.
Yep, took it off. You're no longer the hand of the king. But you know what? I don't think.
But we owe you a great debt.
Right. I don't think Hightower. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, he's probably right in a lot with what he's saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think he is, but again, he does like the king. But the king said it to Rhaenyra. It's like everyone who talks to me is going to be about them, not about what's best for the kingdom. Right. Everybody's going to do that. So I can't expect him to be any different. But from what she's saying, it's like he is being a division.
Yeah. Oh, he had to. Yeah, she's right. He had to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to go. Yeah. So, but I just like the fact that, Rhaenyra, she's flexing, man. She's flexing a little bit. She's flexing her power. She's like, you know what? It's like she's been underestimated this whole series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the women usually are.
Right.
And we saw some scenes where some people are.
Right. She's not. I mean, you're not going to use me for your, political gain. I'm making power moves now. You know what I'm saying?
But this real quick. This episode really made me feel for Allison.
Yeah.
What she actually seemed like she has a very kind heart. Like she's not now. Chain of events, I'm sure, is going to change that because it always does in Game of Thrones. Like, listen, people just get angry and something happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. But she really just has. I mean, she took care of the king. That dude's falling apart. She's like, I'll bathe him, and I got him till she got called in around like 2:30. And then and that dude's just falling apart. But I guess something works.
Yeah.
And she had to deal with that whole thing. But the crazy thing was, and at the end of the episode, the maester comes in and here's a tea. And she's like, what's that for? It's like, just to make sure nothing comes out of anything that you've done already.
And she just staring at it.
Yeah, and I was staring at it too. I was like, oh. And it's a different life. And like she said, she's like, if I was a man and I had like 10 bastards around, no one would blink an eye. He's like, but you're not. That's the whole, but you're not.
Yeah, it's weird because in this world, the women in a lot of ways are powerful, but it just goes to show you that they're really powerless. You know what I'm saying? And from Allison to Rhaenyra, and like I said, that's why I like the fact that she's trying to make moves. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to show her strength and show so that she can play this game. But yeah, man, it's crazy episode, man. So
how many dragons you give it?
Well, I didn't like a lot of the gallivanting, as you put it. So I got to give it six dragons, man. I mean, it was still a good episode, but I could do without a lot of that,
Yeah, I because of how it's going to be, I'm just kind of honestly, I'm glad nothing happened. It wasn't,
Yeah.
So I give it a 7 because nothing happened. If something happened, it probably would have been like a 4. But even though it was close, either way, I give it a 7 because the storytelling was great.
Yeah, the storytelling.
It went from Daemon again. Daemon just came in riding a white horse to leaving, with his tail between his legs.
Yeah. The thing is, and I was like, man, I remember how last episode I was like, I'm starting to like him, and then at the beginning I was like, you know what? I think he's starting to become one of my favorite characters. Then I'm like, no, you got to go, homie.
You got to go.
I'm done with you.
But yeah, I give it a 7.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Ooh, can't wait till we got She-Hulk tomorrow, and of course Rings of Power on Friday, but can't wait till Sunday. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. StreamYard, YouTube, NYMD Podcast, of course, IG, Facebook, Twitter, as well as Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, you will find us, NYMD Podcast, and the House of the Dragon. So everybody, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Peace out, y'all.
Dragon.